Hello everyone, welcome to another week of the Australian Real Estate News Weekly Highlight. I'm Peter Lee, today is a little bit rainy in Sydney, but that doesn't stop anyone from buying properties. We'll look into it really quickly. There's a lot to cover this week. Before we get started, please subscribe to our video if you like it, and please making sure that you leave some comments for us to improve in the future. If you have a property needs, please check out Plus Agency. The new website is online at plusagency.com.au. Thank you very much for your support. All right, let's get into it. The first article we have today is about Sydney auctions, and everybody knows that Sydney auction has been crazy, but it just take crazy to the next level recently. There is a Maroubra house goes to about 1.21 million over the reserve after unbelievable bidding war. There's a lot of people attended. Apparently, this particular house, which look like this in Maroubra, has attracted about over 250 people that came through to the property, and then there's over 100 contracts issued out to different buyers. There are 50 buyers registered for the auction, which it's never heard of, and was sold for a remarkable $3.76 million through an epic auction. And you can see on the side, this majority of the people are local buyers. They're just looking at the property to knock down and rebuild. Majority of the buyers that actually stick to the end of the auction are actually developers and trying to make it into a duplex. And this is what happened in Sydney at the moment. All right, next one, Bank of Mom and Dad, bankrolling more property purchasers as Sydney housing market heats up. So, you just go to the interest-free bank, which is your family, to borrow money now because the price is so high. But yeah, another way, the reason why the kids start to borrowing money off their parents is because majority of their parents have recently sold their houses at amazing prices. There's a lot of people who downsize from their property, sold the big one, get a lot of money, bought something for themselves to live in, and pass on the remaining money to their children. So at the moment, there's a lot of activities happening in the market. It looks like the market now is getting to a stage where people just start to sell their property and buy into it, and transaction volume starts to go up, and then the young buyers go into the market, become owners. The whole residential market beginning to get more and more stabilized in this hot autumn. All right, that's coming up. All right, so this is another big epic sale with one of the mansions with 14-car garage has sold for $14 million in Centennial Park. This is a beautiful property. Centennial Park is very close to Sydney CBD, and then you can see the garage is literally like an apartments parking lot. It looks like one of my boutique development happening in the eastern suburb, and this is what a car park in this place is like. Beautiful interiors, it's got really solid build, a lot of sandstones in this house. It is a magnificent place, but $14 million price bracket is something that's actually really remarkable. And not to mention, this is just crazy good and crazy high prices being attached to this property, which it couldn't be sold before at this price point at all, but now this year looks like anything is possible. All right, next one, 3-bedroom Cremorne semi sells in 9 days for $6 million. Cremorne is an area very close to Mosman. There's a lot of Mosman houses recently being sold at ridiculous prices, but before, when I was living in Mosman, you can buy something really comfortable in Mosman with 600 square meter of land or even 900 square meter land for roughly about 2.5 million to about 3 million. And then if something with a view, you'll be looking at about 3.5, maybe 4. And now with this particular property, it does have a really nice, beautiful city view, but looks like the prices in the semi are kicking up to 6 million, which brings the market into the next stage. Address is 35 Bennett Street in Cremorne, very popular street in the area. Beautiful garden with this beautiful city and the harbor view, but 6 million for semi, it's just unheard of. And if you think this is all about the view, there's another one being sold at 84 Cremorne Road And then this one is a more important. It's a 3-bedroom terrace home sold for $4.5 million. So looks like what we said last year, when the house market started to heat up, there's a lot of areas that prices go through the roof, and now people are starting moving to townhouse, semis, duplex. And this is exactly what's happening. It looks like the semi and the townhouses are now achieving house-like prices. Yeah, and apartment also start to kick into the market as well. So when the apartment market become hotter and hotter, boutique blocks, low-rise buildings, something with the view, like this particular one at number 2 Lavony Road has been sold 2 weeks when it came out to the market and has achieved a really remarkable $5 million price guide. All right. So next one, family sells long-held Mossman cottages for more than $1 million auto reserve. So like we said before, 2.5 to about 3 million back in my days when I was living in Mossman was a really reasonable prices. And now something like this, like a little cottage with very small land, it is nice and clean. It's a beautiful looking property, but we're talking about big prices now, which is about let's have a look how much, which is about $4.11 million. That's $1 million above the reserve price of the place. And this is just, another stage so like before, I think we talked about a lot of massive houses, big houses, and now in those popular areas like Mossman or Eastern Suburb, small houses begin to sell at big house prices. And next day, I think there will be more and more that's actually going into the market at a similar condition. Home buyers camp out of Western Sydney for up to 2 days to buy a property. So this is coming back again. When I first started real estate in 2017, those are the times where local buyers would camp in front of the display room before the actual launch of the project to be the first one to buy a property. And now it looks like this market has come back to that again. This particular buyer, it does look like he probably have missed out on a lot of good releases. I'm now looking at house land packages down in the southwest area of Sydney. There's a lot of people down there in the morning. Everyone want to get a clip of the land to get their beautiful home built. And this particular buyer looks like much keener than anyone else. And then now in the southwest or northwest area, any house land packages that released in the market, majority of them will get sold in about a day. So this particular development has 36 lots in the Catherine Park estate in Sydney Southwest, has sold 34 out of 36 at the first day of the launch. Only 2 blocks of land left, and it looks like that's about to be gone really soon as well. So this is what it's like. People who can afford are now moving either to further area to buy house land packages so they can have the sizes, and generally they're buying land between 300 square meters to about 600 square meters. And now in the eastern suburbs, people are really, buying whatever house they can see. And this is just what the market is like. All right, 3 families join forces for a $30 million payday with the site backing onto the new Western Sydney airport. So you can see the reason why the prices start to go up is because costs start to go up. And then construction costs start to go up again. And now the land prices start to go up again. If it costs people $30 million to buy a land, then you can imagine how much per land, per small block of land will cost the new purchaser to buy, simply because the cost to acquire the land at the initial in the beginning stage. So looks like Sydney land prices gonna go up again, and I think at the end of the year we'll see some amazing results with land-related properties or just making lands. Michael Clark sells Vancouver mansion bought with divorced wife Kelly Clark for $12 million. So our famous cricket player Michael Clark has divorced, unfortunately, and then but when it come down to his house, it looks like he's still getting good prices. $12 million for a house in Vancouver is actually just, it is what it is, and I really don't think that people will get surprised about a $12 million house anymore in areas like Vancouver. It is a beautiful home, and then looks like a lot of people are starting catching up on their properties, which means once they took the money, the next thing they're going to go into is either another house, which is going to push the house prices up, and if you can't afford it, they're going to go down to a townhouse, a semi, a duplex, and if that becomes more expensive than what is anticipated, like the Tammy in Mossman, which is $6 million, they're going to start going into apartment markets. So I think apartment market will start to coming back to its roots in about September, maybe to December, depending on how fast the vaccine comes out and also how fast the border will get reopened. All right, talk about apartment. There we go, another penthouse of Future Traders, Simon Clarkson, sells for $4.375 million, $275,000 above reserve. So all these high-end boutique blocks apartments are now begin to get sold, especially when people really couldn't afford the eastern suburb houses. They start moving into the apartment market. And this particular apartment is beautiful, re-renovated, it got a big deck, beautiful views. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any lifts, so you had to walk up the stairs into it. It is very old apartment being renovated, but even that, you'll still achieve $275,000 above reserve prices for the auction. So yeah, we'll just see how the market will go. I think eastern suburb apartments will start to go up in prices, then followed by different apartments onwards. I think we'll see some amazing results very soon. And this is another new term that's being invented recently. So we all know that FOMO is fear of missing out, and now we're saying TINA. So what is TINA, and why TINA has got this Maroubra prices smashed in record again at $14 million? So we can see this Mermaid Avenue. We actually seen this property before, and at the time when I was seeing this property, it was nowhere near this price point, but now it's being sold and create a new suburb record. The reason is TINA. What's the TINA? There is no alternative. So there's fear of missing out, which means people want to get into it, and there is no alternative, which means there's nothing comparable to what they see. This one is a beautiful ocean view house in Maroubra, brand new, very, very new. I'm not saying brand new, but very, very new. Beautiful, elegant pool at the back, very contemporary, modern design, massive ocean views in front of it, and then almost never to be built out as well, and high ceilings, contemporary design, apartment-like living style with house sizes. This is just everybody's dream. So no wonder this place will get sold for $14 million. And now we have a TINA. There is no alternative. Post Point Studio apartment sells for $735,000 at auction with 4 bidders. So like we said, after we start to have a lot of big ones being sold out, now the smaller apartments, small blocks start to kick back in the market. We start to slowly see investors now coming back to the market, and this is another example. Post Point Studio, very small, tiny 38 square meter studio, has been sold for $735,000 with auction with 4 bidders. Before last year, I think apartment market is hardly ever to get someone who can go through auction with this. But now, looking back at it, there are people start joining the actions for not just penthouses, not just big apartments, but also smaller blocks, investment stock in the older buildings now. So we'll see what will happen in this really attractive year in terms of the market and how we can see the inflation, everything get kicking. And this is not even talking about, we're not even talking about the actual, vaccine or when the border is open and there's no migrants at the moment. The market is already hot as that, like this. I couldn't imagine what it would look like when the border opens, the overseas money comes in, and then everybody start to get a vaccine and everything goes back to normal, what it will be look like. All right, thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for joining Australian Real Estate News Weekly Highlight. I'm Peter Lee. We'll see you next week.